Welcome to the Social Show, everybody. It's a beautiful day, and we have started a bit late, but everything happens for a reason. If you're awake right now, if you are going to work, you are at work, whatever it is that you're doing, I hope that you're having a great day. And just know that if you're listening to me and you're listening to my voice, it basically means you are alive. Guess what? So you have every single reason to be happy. You have every single reason to be awake and happy for the week because you are alive to witness today. Anyway, as usual, I'm going to start off the show with the news. Nedbank's 2016 Sustainability Review highlights how it contributes to sustainable development agenda of South Africa with a focus on products, services, partnerships and operations. Bridget Burnett, head of sustainability for Nedbank Group, has said that in their experience, their sustainability effectiveness is maximized through an approach that combines a commitment to sustainable products and services, managing their own impact and partnering with like-minded organizations and initiatives. The information contained in their 2016 Sustainability Review demonstrates the value that is unlocked through this approach. While they certainly aren't there yet, it is a journey that this report shows good progress in how they have delivered positive societal impacts for their country and for their clients. The 2016 Sustainability Review offers evidence of Nedbank's commitment to positive education outcomes and how the bank has responded to Fees Must Fall campaign. Also, Burnett points specifically to Nedbank's partnership with Nedbank Mogale Empowerment Trust, which invested over 100 million in MTN's Zakhele Futhi scheme, and the dividends received will be used to benefit black students across the country, as well as black supplier development. The review also discloses detail on investments aimed at socio-economic upliftment and support. It also remains committed to managing the sustainability impacts of their own operations and staff. And since 2010, Nedbank has been carbon neutral, and in 2016, it further reduced its overall direct carbon footprint by more than 6%. The full 2016 Nedbank Sustainability Review is available for download on www.nedbank.co.za, and it is a supplementary report to the Nedbank Group Integrated Report. So if you want to read that, you can visit www.nedbank.co.za. In other news, working for water projects are in WFW projects are increasingly playing a critical role in producing precious runoff to swell the rivers, feeding major supply dams as the water crisis in Nelson Mandela Bay and surrounding regions deepens. Additional water being harvested through these projects is proving to be a lifeline to the Eastern Cape's major cities and towns as their supply dam levels dwindle. Implemented across Eastern Cape by the Gamtus Irrigation Board and funded by the National Department of Environmental Affairs, the WFW projects focus chiefly on alien vegetation clearance and wetlands rehabilitation while providing much needed employment opportunities in rural communities. According to Gibbs area manager for Western Region, Edwil Moore, although there is not enough scientifically verifiable data to support claims of increased water flow, anecdotal evidence suggests a major improvement as a result of clearing activities. He carried on to say numerous landowners will testify that their property was cleared and maintained, and the water flow increased dramatically even during dry periods. Lastly, in our news, we have Pioneer Foods. Now, Pioneer Foods recently rolled out their school's breakfast nutrition program in 5 disadvantaged schools in KwaZulu-Natal. The program already feeds more than 20,000 learners throughout 25 schools in the Western Cape, in the Northern Cape, Limpopo, Northwest and the Free State. Now, Pioneer Foods started the program in 2015 to provide disadvantaged school learners with a healthy breakfast so that they can carry on with their school day without worrying about food. Now, the healthy breakfast comprises of a selection of cereals such as Pro Nutro, Bokomo cornflakes, White Star instant porridge, as well as catering equipment, long life milk, and aprons for the food handlers. This ensures pupils have at least one wholesome meal a day and are able to concentrate on their school work. And this project is in keeping power with Pioneers Foods' commitment to shared value. Moloto did explain that they will adhere to policies that drive competitiveness but also enhance economic and social conditions in the communities in which they operate. Now, the Pioneer Food Schools breakfast feeding program, quite a mouthful, complements the Department of Basic Education's National School Nutrition Program, which is the NSNP, which provides lunch to nearly 10 million learners in over 21,000 schools annually. And that is the end of our news for the day. We're back on the social show, and as you know, I always come through with new topics that we can talk about and engage in. And the one that's been on my head, actually, it's been looming over my head, is the Jozi Works program that our mayor of Johannesburg, if you're not from Johannesburg, I'll fill you in a bit. So our mayor, Herman Mashaba, has despite obviously resistance to the decision, he has cancelled the Jozi at Work youth employment program, which was made or selected or done, basically created, by our previous mayor, who is Park Stawu, and basically he just wants it off. He wants it all gone. He is going to be scrapping Jozi at Work, Jozi Bread, Jozi Mushroom Farmers, and Jozi Mini City Projects, which I said again, his predecessor, Park Stawu, started them in 2014 to create jobs. And in principle, these programs, which married service delivery projects or objectives, would work with opportunity. People would work with the city to supply specific service delivery objectives, and that's what the point of Jozi at Work was. And what he said in a press statement quite recently was that, like so many good principles, the Jozi at Work program had a dark underworld. And he said that because there was a sort of an issue around the middlemen who were getting awarded multi-million rand contracts to run these projects, and they have been indebted through their newly achieved wealth. So he's basically saying that instead of empowering entrepreneurs, it's basically it felt like a handout, and a lot of people were getting money, unnecessarily a lot of money, and they were using it in a very not a really good way. And I think it's important that we look at whether or not it's a good idea for the Jozi at Work program to be completely scrapped, or do you think it needs to be fixed? I think it needs to be fixed. I don't think it needs to be scrapped completely. I think there's a lot of things that have corruption underlying it. As long as, even if there's a good program, there is going to be sort of a little bit of corruption that happens, and that's something that is innately happens when there's a lot of money to be given and a lot of tenders and all that kind of stuff. And I don't necessarily think that scraping it completely is the right way to fix it. And because at the end of the day, he's going to implement another one or something similar, and the same thing is going to happen. What's going to prevent or stop whatever happened before not to happen again now? And he also said, these overnight millionaires then selected, people who would only select people who will benefit from the work opportunities. And I think I get where he's coming from, and I get the fact that he wants the administration to revamp, and he wants it to be fair, and he wants work opportunities to be real and rotational and legitimate, and that's something that we all want. But I do think that by scrapping them completely, by just cutting them out, you aren't really helping those who weren't being corrupt, those who were actually really benefiting for their businesses. How many people are going to lose their jobs? How many people are going to how many people were bidding to get contracts with these programs so that they could build their companies, and it's gonna have a really negative effect on employees, but also on entrepreneurship in the country. And despite what critics say, he says that the move will not kill work opportunities. Instead, it will increase the amount of people who can fairly benefit from these temporary work opportunities. Okay, so I get his point. I get the fact that he wants to make sure it's rotational, make sure everyone gets it. And it's not just this elitist group of people in Johannesburg who give each other these tenders. And I think it was like that. A lot of the Jozi projects, it did seem a little bit one-sided when you look at who gets the contracts and how many times they would have gotten them. But I do think that the system was good. I think the system was great. In fact, I just think it's always around the people who are now going through with it and making sure that it's fine and making sure that everything is dealt with and made fair. So anyway, after Mashaba took office in the local government elections in 2016, he announced his intention to scrap all of these. And a lot of protesters came out. I know the Johannesburg social movement led a march to get Mashaba to actually resign from office. And the protesters claimed that up to 8,000 jobs would be lost from the scraping of the Jozi at Work initiative alone. And remember, it's not only the Jozi at Work initiative that's going to be taken away. It's the Jozi at Work, Jozi Bread, Jozi Mushroom Farmers, and Jozi Mini Cities project. So how many other jobs are going to be lost? It's actually quite a looming decision. It's got a looming idea that he has to sort of scrap them all. I don't think, again, my point is, don't scrap them all. What does it mean for an entrepreneur right now to lose that contract? What does it mean for somebody who is, paying a specific amount of staff? Where are they going to go? How is he going to make sure that those businesses are still facilitated and are still running? However, I can understand what he's saying when he says, we can't have the same businesses having the same opportunities. We need to make sure everybody gets the same opportunity. And also, I think a lot of entrepreneurs have become lazy, especially when they are involved with this Jozi at Work initiatives and programs, because what happens is, because you're so secure in the sort of income, you're not really looking for other avenues to get money. And I think this will inspire, or rather make sure that you, as an entrepreneur, if you are in the service delivery sector and you are able to supply the government with anything, or the country, as a matter of fact, you're able to grow from just Jozi at Work. You're able to grow into bigger and greater ventures, and we don't want a stagnant entrepreneurship culture. We want one that is growing from strength to strength. We don't want somebody to feel safe with just getting money from the government and that kind of thing. But if you don't know what Jozi at Work is, I'm just going to give you a bit of an idea as to what it does and what it's done and what is its point. So Jozi at Work was actually a new co-production program by the City of Johannesburg. It was launched on the 30th of September 2014 in Eldorado Park, south of Johannesburg. Jozi at Work is a program with work packages valued at over 1 billion. Now, the program was designed to create an opportunity for communities to partner with the city in the delivery of municipal services in their own neighbourhoods. It is also aimed at shifting mindsets by turning job seekers into job creators. This is in a bid to aid socio-economic transformation that will reduce poverty, inequality, unemployment, and other situations that are happening in our country, like obviously once you reduce poverty, you reduce crime, etc. It's sort of a ripple effect. And so yeah, I think there's such a beautiful underlining as to what Jozi at Work was for. I think the fact that they looked at energy, they looked at waste, they looked at greening services, construction and maintenance, and road and transport. To me, it was a really beautiful underlining intention around Jozi at Work. Where the corruption came in is that necessarily an issue of poor governance, poor execution of the project, or is it entrepreneurs just really going into the dark side and bribing officials and that kind of thing? So this situation is really multifaceted, and for it to have so many faces and to be scrapped all at once, I don't think that's necessarily the smartest thing that Mashaba could have done in his first year of an office. I mean, I think he should have evaluated a bit more, strengthened criteria as how people get the tenders, changed the system, but made sure that the system still existed, because the system for a lot of people doesn't just give them that money or that compensation to work and to carry on with their businesses, but it also has this hope element to it. When I think of the beauty of, and I think it's such a great system actually to get the communities to help the city evolve, because so often cities or towns are always looking far and beyond to find the solution for their own people, and who better than to fix the issues and the people in the community, and how better to make sure that economic prosperity is growing every single day than to really get the people that are involved in the city, who work in the city, who are trying to make it in the city, to help you as a city, as a government, as a party, whatever the case may be, to really come up with unique ways of making sure that your city evolves and it transcends what it already is. And also we also alleviate things like poverty and obviously we sort of fasten or make it easier for people to understand or see socio-economic transformation, and inequality goes away and unemployment goes away. But I think, I don't know, I really would like to know what you guys think about the Jozi Work programs being scrapped completely by Herman Mashaba. I know Johannesburg social movement is not about it. In fact, they've been saying that Mashaba should resign. He's on a witch hunt. He doesn't know what he's doing. And 8,000 people alone in one program will lose their job if it's scrapped. So there's a lot of scariness that goes around that, is in terms of job security, food security for a lot of people, home security. A lot of people are maintaining households with that money. So how is he going to compensate, and how is he going to come up with a backlash, or at least try and meet those who will be unemployed after he's scrapped it? He's going to meet them at least halfway. I wonder actually what you guys think about the Jozi Work program. If you guys think it's great, and you think he just needs to fix it a little bit and needs to just get in a little bit more of a stronger infrastructure in terms of criteria, as I said, and in terms of who gets the bids and who gets the money. If you think that, you can definitely let us know on Viewer for Real. That's my Instagram handle. Or you could go to brandlive.co.za and we will make sure that we get your request. Even if you email me on press@social-tv.co.za, I am always willing to hear what it is that you want, what it is that you're thinking. Do you even participate in Johannesburg? Do you even understand what's going on? Did you even know there was a Jozi Work program? And what does that kind of mean? Well, who gets that kind of information? How do we make sure this kind of information is accessible to everybody who really wants to start with their new businesses, who really wants to get into work and start really helping the government achieve their dream for the country? And again, they've been saying that transparency is at the heart of Jozi Work. That's what Park Style was trying to do. However, if there is that dark cloud, and this dark cloud is really bad, as Herman Mashaba has been saying, I haven't really seen or heard of any big stories breaking out on our major media stations speaking about entrepreneurs who have, and I could be wrong, and please correct me if I'm wrong, entrepreneurs using money from Jozi Work in a way that is, malicious, or corruption in that system. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if it's not big enough of a story. I think it would be. I definitely think it would be. I think it would be a really big story if somebody was, bribing officers at the Jozi Work program, or whatever the case may be. If you've heard any of the stories, please let me know. If you haven't, and you don't think it's as huge as Herman wants us to believe, or if you think perhaps that it is a witch hunt, and you think that he is just trying to sort of scrap away the legacy of Park Style, and he's really just trying to, bring in his own rule in a way, instead of really working with what he already had before, please let me know. How important is Jozi Work? How important was it for people that you knew that were involved in the program? What does it mean for job stability? Is it like is it realistic to just scrap the entire program? Again, if it was started in 2014, which means it took them like maybe a year or two to really start getting their feet up. And you see, that's my problem with it, is the fact that it's such a young concept, such a young program, that scrapping it at such a really embryonic stage may not be the smartest thing, especially because you don't know how how good it would be and how much it would grow if it was just fixed a little bit. And also, every single time there's new mayors, are we going to scrap all the old programs that have been working quite well, or not, or for people, and people understand in those systems? Doesn't that confuse a lot of entrepreneurs? And won't that also hinder the number of people who get into service delivery and people who want to work with the government? Already there's a bad rap as to companies, private companies that work with the government, and the kind of relationships that they have. And remember, if that relationship between the government and private companies is a bit messy, it's going to be messy for entrepreneurs. Even worse, because they're small companies, most of them, and they're dealing with paperwork, they're dealing with a lot of different things and corruption and all these kinds of things, and it may hinder the amount of people who want to start their own businesses. So there's a lot of things around this Jozi at Work program and initiative that will be scrapped or has already been scrapped. I don't know if I can justify his concept. I don't know if any of the speech that he's made and the reasons he's given are enough to say that it needs to be scrapped completely. I do think there's room for improvement. And again, if you have any contrasting advice for me or for the country or for our mayor, please let me know at VieForReal on Instagram, and also actually Social One TV at Social One TV also on Instagram, or you could just go to our press at social-tv.co.za and just email us straight and just say, you know what, this is what I think, and this is what should happen, and I will gladly report back to the listeners. But thank you so much for listening. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day at work, and make sure that you are safe and sound.
Live from 27 Boxes in the heart of Melville, this is brandlive.co.za.